Gourmet dining rooms, bottomless buffets. Let's be honest, for many of us, the real highlight of a cruise is the food. But here's something most people don't expect. Some of the most mouth-watering options on board might actually ruin your vacation. And not just because they might disappoint your taste buds, some of them can seriously mess with your health. According to the CDC, cruise ships have already reported 18 illness outbreaks this year alone, matching the total for all of last year, and the year's not even over yet. Now, don't panic. This isn't a scare tactic. The vast majority of cruise cuisine is totally safe and seriously tasty. But if you want your trip to go smoothly, knowing what to skip at the buffet could make a world of difference. In this video, we're breaking down the top 10 cruise foods you should steer clear of, based on expert advice from medical professionals and frequent cruisers who've seen it all. We'll dig into what makes certain dishes risky, and I'll also give you better, safer alternatives, so you can indulge without stress and enjoy every bite with confidence. Want to keep your stomach happy and your vacation on track? Then stick around, because we're diving right in. 10. Spicy, greasy, and overly rich food. Starting off our list at number 10 is a food category that's not dangerous because of germs, but because of what it can do to your stomach. We're talking about heavy, spicy, and super rich dishes, the kind that can make your digestive system wave a white flag. See, your body's already working hard to get used to the gentle rocking of the ship. So when you pile on food that's tough to process, you're setting yourself up for discomfort, if not disaster. Let's begin with spicy food. Even if you're the kind of person who loads hot sauce on everything at home, cruising changes the game. The culprit? A little compound called capsaicin, the thing that makes chili peppers hot. It can irritate your stomach lining and lead to fun symptoms like acid reflux, heartburn, or a sudden dash to the bathroom. Now picture that happening while you're also dealing with seasickness. Not a great combo. The same goes for rich, fatty meals, like burgers dripping with grease, bacon-heavy breakfasts, or pasta dishes swimming in creamy Alfredo or thick hollandaise sauce. These meals sit in your stomach like a brick because they take longer to digest. That sluggish digestion can easily trigger bloating, nausea, or indigestion, none of which are ideal at sea. And if you're getting those creamy sauces from the buffet, there's an extra risk. Cream-based foods need to be kept at high temperatures to stay safe. If they've been sitting out too long, you could be adding foodborne illness to your list of cruise problems. But this doesn't mean you have to give up your vacation favorites entirely. The trick is to be smart about how and where you indulge. Instead of picking a burger that's been lounging under heat lamps, head out to the poolside grill where they're flipping them fresh to order. And if you're in the mood for a creamy pasta fix, skip the buffet and treat yourself to the main dining room or a specialty restaurant on board. It'll taste better, be safer, and leave your stomach far happier. 9. Shared condiment bottles. Coming in at number 9 is something we all use without thinking: communal condiment dispensers. Whether it's ketchup, mustard, or mayo, these shared bottles are easy to overlook but can be a quiet culprit when it comes to spreading germs. Here's the thing. These containers are handled by dozens if not hundreds of passengers every single day. And rarely, if ever, do you see them getting a proper wipe down. That makes them one of the highest touch surfaces at the buffet. And in an enclosed space like a cruise ship, where viruses can spread like wildfire, that's a risk you definitely want to limit. On top of that, there's a lesser-known issue: spoilage. While condiments like ketchup or mustard are usually shelf-stable, leaving them too close to hot food stations or heat lamps can cause them to go bad faster than you'd expect. So how do you stay safe without giving up your fries or burger toppings? Your best move is to politely ask a crew member if they've got single-serve condiment packets. Many do, especially for hygiene-conscious guests. If you do need to use the big pump-style dispensers at places like the burger bar, grab a clean napkin and use it to press the pump instead of touching it directly. And above all else, make it second nature to sanitize or wash your hands before you sit down to eat. It's a small habit that can make a big difference in protecting your health at sea. 8. Self-serve stations and drink machines. At number 8, we're looking at something that feels like pure cruise magic: the unlimited self-serve ice cream. On a warm day at sea, it's everyone's favorite treat, but it might also be one of the most unsanitary spots on the entire ship. And it's not just the ice cream machines. Self-serve soda fountains and ice dispensers fall into the same risky category. The issue? High-touch surfaces. These machines are used nonstop, all day long, by hundreds of people, many of whom may not have washed their hands. That means the buttons, levers, and spouts are constantly being touched, and germs can build up fast. This problem is even more noticeable on cruises packed with families. Kids, especially when they're excited and racing to the dessert station, aren't always thinking about hygiene. To make matters worse, a 2023 study found that 42% of soda machine spouts tested positive for coliform bacteria, a clear sign of contamination. If those machines aren't cleaned thoroughly and regularly, they can become a breeding ground for bacteria and even mold. So how can you tell when it's time to skip that soft serve swirl? A quick visual check can help. If the machine looks messy, sticky, or neglected, that's a red flag. Best to walk away. Instead, go for safer options. Look for ice cream stations where crew members serve you directly, like the gelato bar or hand-scooped ice cream spots. These areas are usually better maintained and far more hygienic. When it comes to drinks, bottled or canned soda is your safest bet. It eliminates the risk entirely and ensures what you're sipping is clean, sealed, and safe. 7. Soft cheeses and unpasteurized dairy. Coming in at number 7 is a creamy indulgence that feels oh so luxurious on vacation. Soft cheeses and rich, dairy-based desserts. They look elegant on a buffet spread, but under the wrong conditions, they can turn into a serious health risk. We're talking about items like brie, feta, blue cheese, or decadent sweets like cheesecake and custard tarts. The trouble starts when these foods aren't kept at consistently cold temperatures. That's when bacteria, especially listeria, can start to grow. And once that happens, you could be facing more than just an upset stomach. Soft cheeses are particularly sensitive to temperature shifts. If they've been sitting out for too long on a buffet line without proper refrigeration, that's a red flag. The same applies to creamy desserts. Cheesecakes and custard-filled pastries might taste incredible, but if they're warm or even room temp, it's not worth the risk. Now, in most cases, cruise ships do use pasteurized dairy, which helps eliminate harmful bacteria. But here's the catch. Cruise lines often source food from different countries, and storage conditions can vary behind the scenes. So, when in doubt, a little caution goes a long way. If something cold is supposed to be cold, but doesn't feel that way, skip it. For a safer and often tastier experience, treat yourself to that cheese plate or creamy dessert in the main dining room or a specialty venue. These kitchens are held to stricter standards, and you're more likely to get a dish that's been properly stored and freshly served. 6. Buffet scrambled eggs. At number 6, we've got a breakfast staple that's stirred up a lot of debate among cruise regulars: scrambled eggs from the buffet. You've probably seen them, those big trays of eggs that look a little too shiny, a bit too runny, and maybe even taste off. That's not your imagination. There's a reason so many cruisers steer clear of them. To keep up with the massive demand, cruise kitchens often turn to liquid or powdered eggs instead of cracking thousands of fresh ones. It's a smart move from a logistics perspective. They're easier to store, transport, and prepare in large batches. The trade-off? Flavor and texture. Powdered or liquid egg products just don't match the taste of the real thing. And when they sit for too long under heat lamps, they can turn rubbery, watery, or even develop that strange fake egg flavor that people love to hate. There's also a food safety concern. When large pans of eggs are held for extended periods at inconsistent temperatures, they can slip into what food safety experts call the danger zone, a range where bacteria can multiply. But here's the good news. Avoiding buffet eggs doesn't mean skipping breakfast joy altogether. There's a better, fresher option just a few steps away. Head to the omelet station. The cooks there use real eggs, cracked fresh to order. And here's a pro tip most people don't know. You can absolutely ask them to make you scrambled eggs instead of an omelet. Want an even more relaxed option? Grab a seat in the main dining room. where breakfast is made fresh, plated with care, and served hot. No heat lamps in sight. 5. Buffet foods left at the wrong temperature. Sliding into number 5 is something that applies to every item on the buffet, not just one in particular. Food that's sitting at the wrong temperature. Now, we often think of temperature in terms of taste. Nobody likes cold fries or lukewarm soup. But when it comes to food safety, temperature is everything. There's a danger zone between 40 degrees Fahrenheit and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, or 4 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius. And it's not just a guideline. It's where bacteria thrive. Food left too long in this range can become a breeding ground for germs that can turn your vacation into a trip to the infirmary. Hot dishes are supposed to stay really hot, steaming, not just warm. Cold food should feel chilled to the touch, not room temperature. So here's your role. Become a buffet detective. Scan that tray of mac and cheese. Do you see steam rising? Or does it look like it's been sitting there for a while, starting to crust over? Is that pizza under the heat lamp fresh and melty? Or is it dried out and curling at the edges? If something looks lukewarm or neglected, don't take the risk. One bite isn't worth spending the rest of your cruise feeling sick. The safest move? Go for freshly rotated trays that just came out from the kitchen. Or better yet, get your food from live stations where it's cooked right in front of you, grilled, sautéed, or sliced to order. Fresh, hot, and straight from the source. That's your best bet every time. 4. Deli meats and smoked seafood. At number 4, we're spotlighting that fancy-looking platter you'll often see at the buffet, cold cuts and smoked fish. With their elegant presentation and gourmet appeal, it's easy to be tempted. But these items come with more risk than most people realize. We're talking about meats like ham, pastrami, salami, pate, and smoked salmon. They may look fresh and luxurious, but they can carry a particularly dangerous bacteria, Listeria. And here's the problem. Listeria isn't like most bacteria. It can actually survive and grow in cold environments, meaning even if those meats are kept chilled, they're not necessarily safe. That makes the gorgeous but long-sitting buffet trays of sliced meats and smoked seafood a hidden hazard, especially if they've been out for a while without being rotated or kept at the right temperature. This risk is especially serious for certain travelers. If you're pregnant, over the age of 60, or have a weakened immune system, you're far more vulnerable to the complications that Listeria can cause. So what should you do instead? If you're craving a sandwich or something savory, opt for a hot, freshly made option. Grab a grilled panini, a melt, or a Philly cheesesteak from one of the ship's cook-to-order stations. Not only will it taste better, but it'll be much safer and made just for you. 3. Raw veggies and salad bar surprises. At number 3, we're going to say something you don't hear often. Skip the salad, at least the raw kind from the buffet. Sure, that salad bar looks like the healthiest option on board, but when you're cruising, it might actually be one of the riskiest choices you can make. Here's why. Raw produce is one of the most common culprits in norovirus outbreaks, and the CDC has specifically flagged pre-cut salads as a high-risk food for travelers. The danger lies in the handling and exposure. Those veggies? They've likely passed through multiple sets of hands before they even make it to the buffet. And once they're sitting out in those open trays, they're wide open to contamination. Airborne germs from nearby sneezes, coughs, and cross-contact from other passengers who might not be using the tongs properly, or at all. Then there's the added risk of mayonnaise-based salads like coleslaw, tuna salad, or creamy pasta salad. If those dishes aren't kept consistently cold, they can quickly turn into a buffet of bacteria. So what's the smarter move? Stick to the traveler's golden rule. Boil it, cook it, peel it, or leave it. Instead of that open-air salad bar, go for cooked vegetables like roasted carrots, steamed broccoli, or sautéed greens. And when it comes to fruit, avoid the pre-cut mix and grab something whole, like a banana, orange, or apple. Peel it yourself, and you'll cut out the risk that comes from someone else touching or prepping it. It's not about being paranoid. It's about being practical, especially when you're sharing space and serving spoons with thousands of fellow passengers. 2. Sushi from the buffet or self-serve stations coming in at number 2 is one that might sting a little. Buffet sushi. We get it. You're on vacation, and a little maki or sashimi sounds like the perfect treat. But when it comes to raw fish sitting out on a buffet line, you'll want to think twice. Now, to be clear, cruise ship chefs are usually highly trained and follow strict food safety protocols. The real issue isn't in how the sushi is made. It's where it ends up, the self-serve buffet. The first concern is all about temperature and timing. Sushi has to be kept cold, really cold, to stay safe. But once it hits the buffet tray, you have no idea how long it's been sitting there. If it's been out for too long or left at an improper temperature, it could quickly slide into the bacterial danger zone, making it risky to eat. But there's an even bigger problem: cross-contamination. Picture a busy lunch rush. Dozens, maybe hundreds, of people are grabbing food with the same set of tongs or spoons. All it takes is one person with less than clean hands to transfer germs onto the shared utensils, and now everyone's sushi is potentially compromised. If you're absolutely craving it, the smartest move is to get there right when the buffet opens, so you're getting sushi that was just put out before the crowds show up. But honestly, there's a better option. Skip this self-serve sushi and head to one of the ship's a la carte sushi restaurants instead. Most modern cruise ships have a specialty spot where sushi is made fresh, plated beautifully, and served directly to your table. Not only is it safer, it's way more flavorful, and you'll enjoy every bite without second-guessing what might be lurking on that buffet tray. 1. Raw meat and uncooked seafood. And finally, at number 1, the single riskiest category of all when it comes to cruise ship cuisine: raw meat and uncooked seafood. This isn't just a minor concern. It's the most common source of foodborne illness outbreaks at sea. We're talking about items like ceviche, poke bowls, tartare, carpaccio, and especially raw shellfish like oysters, clams, and even some shrimp cocktails. The issue? These foods demand strict, uninterrupted temperature control, and that's extremely difficult to maintain on a busy, high-traffic buffet line. Raw seafood, in particular, is notorious for carrying harmful pathogens like norovirus, salmonella, E. coli, and Vibrio, any one of which can turn your vacation upside down within hours. If you're an oyster fan, we hate to be the bearer of bad news, but improperly chilled shellfish has been behind multiple cruise-related norovirus outbreaks in the past. Here's a clear warning sign. If you see oysters or shrimp cocktail at the buffet and they aren't sitting in a deep, ice-filled tray, or if the ice looks half melted or slushy, walk away immediately. That's not a gamble you want to take. Craving seafood or steak? Go for the cooked versions. Think steamed mussels, grilled shrimp skewers, or a hot bowl of clam chowder. If it's beef you're after, skip the lukewarm buffet carving station and head to the main dining room or a specialty restaurant instead. There, your steak will be made fresh to order and cooked to a safe internal temperature, something you just can't count on with high-volume, buffet-style prep. Bonus: 3 golden rules to stay healthy on a cruise. Before we wrap up, here are 3 expert-approved tips that seasoned cruisers swear by to stay healthy at sea. Rule number 1. Wash your hands, frequently and thoroughly, with soap and water. This is hands down the most effective way to prevent getting sick. Rule number 2. Choose made-to-order meals whenever possible. Whether it's the omelet station at breakfast or the grill station at lunch, fresh cooked food drastically reduces your exposure to bacteria. Rule number 3. Skip the self-serve buffet altogether for lunch and dinner, and dine in the main dining room instead. It's included in your fare, the food is made fresh, and it's served straight to your table. No shared tongs required. Final thoughts: cruise buffets aren't the enemy. It's not about being afraid of the food. It's about making smart choices. By knowing which items to avoid and making a few easy swaps, you can keep your stomach happy and your vacation on track. Now it's your turn. What's one food you always avoid on a cruise? Drop it in the comments below. If this video helped you feel more confident about dining on your next cruise, give it a thumbs up. It really supports the channel. And be sure to subscribe for more no-nonsense, travel-smart tips. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, stay safe, eat smart, and happy cruising.